Here comes the best, the most well-rounded, best-smelling, nothing off-limits podcast in the world. Welcome to Quadcast with Kortney Olson, the woman with the world's deadliest thighs. Let's get ready to mumble.
And, traditional gender roles say, the guy is supposed to be the one to advance and whatnot. But I remember, all the times that a woman actually showed, it could just be eye contact, just a little eye contact, and showed some interest. It's so flattering, and it gives you the confidence to approach them. But now,
and once again, coming back to what you said earlier, everyone is programmed to see each other as a motherfucking enemy.
Mm-hmm, yep.
And all these videos of these girls and these dudes at the gym, and they're like staring at me. I'm like, I get hit on, not a ton, on occasion, but to me, I'm like, fucking thanks. I'm married, but yeah, I'm jacked as fuck. You know what I mean? Wow.
We're taught not to compliment anymore.
Right. I saw this tweet, and dude was like, "Oh, this is what happens when you consult with something feminists," and it was a video game, and it almost made her look like not an elf, but she was just a very homely looking woman in a video game because beauty and beautifying something is, and I'm like, well, shit, I've been saying that for really the past 8 years. Don't tell your little girl she's pretty, you tell her she's fucking strong. And I still believe that 110%, but we've swung bass the other way now. And yeah, perhaps, so I'd get all kind of uppity with I had to bleach the hair above my lip in the 5th grade, right? I'd bleach it blonde. I still shave my arms to this day because I was called Sasquatch and shit. And, and now it's like a dude in a dress with a beard has shown up on the scene and has won the war for all of us women going through all, damn, well, maybe that's human evolution and we're all supposed to morph into.
I don't believe that. A good portion of the population are just confused, and we've been deliberately confused.
That's where I'm getting at. When people are like, oh, if you say any shit that's remotely off, say with trans, right? Trans right activists are like, you're transphobic. It's like, no, motherfucker, I hated my entire body my whole life, hated my skin, hated my life. I grew up with an alcoholic parent. I had trauma. And we don't recognize that as young people. On a scale of 1 to 10, that shit was an 11, right? Even though I wasn't being drug around from trap house to trap house with no running water and shit. But at the end of the day, it was fucking intense. And so how that translates as you get older, are these kids that are being raised by these fucking fanatical religious people that can't accept them for being gay or whatever. We're just out here fuck, can we start with getting a little deeper than putting you on some more medication? Yes, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And it's just fuck, dog.
But that's what I mean about we've been deliberately confused.
Right.
And a lot of it is pharmaceuticals.
Fluoride. Motherfucking
fluoride,
dog.
Food,
we could everything. Our
GMO
clothing.
Foods. It's all an assault on our endocrine system.
That part.
On our hormones. And
you got all these fucking alarms and shit, notifications, TikTok, Twitter. I can't, dog.
So that's the other thing, that through my growth and understanding that I grew up very technologically inclined, and now I never have my phone anywhere near me. I had a flip phone a year ago for a year and a half until I finally was like, I can't get anywhere. I need GPS to get around. I'll have a conversation with someone and I will have my phone on silent or off. When I go to bed, I turn it off and I put it in another room. And
that's so important, dude. And it's even just, I know having it on the table, and I'm I have this fear I'm going to forget shit because there's so much overload happening, right? I've got so many fucking boxes, which it's lame. It's me wanting to control the outcomes of things and not turning my will over to God, even though it's I have to do that on every 5-minute fucking basis and be let me do your will, not mine. My ego needs to sit down and shut the fuck up. So when you said you killed your ego, I was sign me the fuck up, please, right now. Let's go.
Yeah, we can go do a heroic trip right now.
Cognizant of the fact that it changes the dynamic of your conversation, even just having it on the table here. So I completely relate and respect that. And you are
my goal is always to be present. in any interaction that I have with another human being. It doesn't matter if it's a celebrity or a homeless person.
Yep.
I want them to feel seen, because I can change them. I can change their life. I hate notifications. All notifications. Since it became a thing.
Oh yeah.
It's always like in my soul.
Yeah.
I hated that when I heard a ding or something that I was reaching for this tether.
Yeah.
And so I always have my phone on silent, and it's not just and I feel for you, because all the people who know me like intimately know that if they text me, I might answer like a day or two from now, or it's a part of being in my life, is to know that that's not the way to contact me.
And isn't that important to set boundaries? Because a lot of us don't, starting out, that's one of the things, right? Because I do take shit hella personal sometimes, but I've gotten way better at it, right? Like growing up as a people pleaser, and like I said, codependent. Mm-hmm. And then, whether somebody be like, the shit drops down on Facebook, they have it all set up for us to lose our minds and expect that instant gratification.
The curse of this technology making us always available.
Yes.
It causes you to be tethered to it.
And people have like preconceived fucking issues and just that level of stress and trauma, right? It's like I talk about stress with the coffee pot, little drip, drip, drip. You're like, oh fuck, it's gonna take me 2 hours to get a fucking cup of coffee. But that little drip, drip, drip of the fucking, oh, they didn't see my message. Oh, I wonder what they're thinking. Oh, did I reply properly? It's just like
we're the same. We're the same in that we want people to feel seen, and we are
right.
And unfortunately,
but again, we're back to the balance.
That's people's love language, is like replying to notifications. It's just like Instagram is their love language. It's like and I want people to feel that I care for them. So then I'm sitting here on my phone replying to people on Instagram for hours, and then I'm just like, and I realize the day is gone. The day is gone, because I want them to feel the same love as if they were right here with me. So I tell people now, like sometimes when I post on Instagram, I just uninstall. I was like, I'll see you when I see you.
Yeah.
I'll see you when I actually see you. Like if you come back to Vegas.
Yeah, like you know where to find me. Shit. I'm already getting visions of me getting the watermelons and you standing there, and I'm like, all right, if you're gonna watch, you're gonna tip, and then you're gonna hug my brother.
So I like the people who have come out with me. They've said it's been like a transformative, just life changing experience. And they're like, let's build an army. Let's just have like an army of people, and we'll stand in a row, all different colors, and we'll say you can't get by without a hug. Basically, you can't get by without hugging someone. But then that'll turn into a whole nother case study of who they choose to hug and why.
Wow, shit.
And that's the other thing is through this process, it's been a whole psychological study of how I went to school for psych, and I dropped out to go play video games. It's a whole other story. Psychology of what happens out there. I didn't know what I was doing when I was first. I originally would, when I first moved here, I would just walk up and down the Strip or Fremont with my shirt on, and I would get a couple hugs here and there, and people would walk by me and they say, "Oh, free hugs! How cool!" But we'd already be past each other,
right?
And then nobody wants to turn around. It's all awkward. You got to walk through the crowd and all that. So I one day I was out with my friends on Fremont Street, and I told my buddy, I'm like, I'm just gonna stand right there, just see what happens, just see what kind of interactions I get. And that day I must have hugged like 500 people. And they left me, and I just stayed out there hugging. And I said, all right, this is how I'm going to do it from now on. I'm just going to stand in one spot. I'm going to allow them to come towards me and see my sincerity. I make eye contact with them. I smile to them. And then they see that I'm sincere, that I'm completely vulnerable, and I am accepting and also non-threatening.
Damn.
Because also, because of my stature, that's always been a thing in my life is, I'd walk through the grocery store in like the more affluent neighborhoods back home, and people I could feel their anxiety as an empath. It sucks. And
it's funny too, because I'm 99% of that, where I'm like, oh, you don't like this or you don't like that, I don't give a fuck. But there's like, for example, one lady, I had to get a restraining order against her, and she was a customer of ours, and just saying the most weird, blasphemous shit. And like, I gave her tickets to our event for free, which was like a couple $100, took her to some meetings. and she just flipped on me, and like she's got like a different reality in her head. And it's sad, you know, because you get attached to people like we were talking about earlier. You give them, you know, 5 compliments and one's bad, and it's like you just obsess on the bad. And so I think about that, and it like bothers me so much, because you're like, why would somebody act like that? You know what I mean? It's a trip. So on the one hand, we don't give a flying fuck. Like, how many people are gonna go be vulnerable enough to stand in the middle of Fremont Street? You know what I'm saying? Or crush watermelons with her vag hanging out, like whatever. We don't give a fuck. But we are still.
We do open ourselves up to. We want them to be receptive to it. And yes, it breaks my heart when someone does reject the love that I'm trying to give them, because that's all I am. Love just shoots out of my pores.
You just essentially made me think of like the Care Bears, and I'm like, what can we come up with? Like, just start this whole, like you said, this whole army of people. You ain't getting by unless you give one of us a hug, bitch.
It's funny.
We're shooting shit out of our wrists.
You say that about Care Bears, because I was speaking with a friend of mine, and she was asking me about why I do this, and I just screamed, because I'm a fucking Care Bear. And I'm like, tears are coming down my eyes. I mean,
listen, like we are manifesting shit.
Picturing all these colors of free hug shirts: yellow, purple, blue, red. Just the Care Bears sitting out there giving love to people. But
oh my gosh,
it's I know how impactful it is, but also I try not to impede people. Like the way I do it is anybody who needs it can come.
Attraction rather than promotion.
Yes, exactly. That's never been I've never done this for notoriety. I've never done it for money. I just wanted people to see real love. I wanted people to feel it. I wanted people to feel that I'm not afraid of you.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. There's no tip jar out there. He's legit. Like, was just, and this is the second time we've met in person. So we met, had our embrace, and that was it. We connected on Instagram, and
it was such a memorable connection.
Yeah.
And you know, I like I said, I'm hardly ever on my phone, but my phone knows I want to see what you have to say, your content.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because like I seek people who are like me, who are just loving.
But you are also awake. Even though that word now, it's like
they've bastardized it.
They've bastardized the fuck out of
it.
You know,
like woke mean that you were awakened, that you could see beyond the veil. And now
that was about the first month of 2020. I think is when that started. Yeah. And then it's
purposeful. They use our words against us because that's all the words that we have to describe this existence we have. We just have our this language.
Right.
But like woke, unfortunately, it now has a negative connotation. Just like I remember when I first moved here, and my roommate said, "Oh, they're saying that people who don't want the vaccine are far right-wing extremists." I'm like, oh, that's genius.
Right.
No one wants to be associated with that term.
Right.
Even extreme as you are.
Right.
Extreme as you possibly could be, they still don't want to be called a right-wing extremist.
Right.
Or a left-wing extremist. No one wants to be called that, because we all want to be thought of as
one of our peers.
Reasonable.
Right.
Yes, and a part of the collective. But once they weaponize that term, and they weaponize woke, and I was just like, so now we have to say awakened.
Yeah, you know, it's like, what if at the end of the day, everybody is, you know, as I say, we're souls having a human experience, and that this narrative that we are in the wrong bodies and the stereotypical ways in which men are supposed to act and women are supposed to act, and we are defying those, and we just help people realize that, you know, they are truly loved, and they have to access that love, and they can work through what they've been through and start there first before other measures.
Yeah.
But I don't even we need to build an army, I suppose.
That's my goal. That's my goal, is to inspire others, and inspire others to love themselves first. You know, just love who you are. Love this. You only get, this is the only vessel you get for now. So just love it. Take care of it. Put the right things in it, and it'll work for you. And that's the other journey that I've been through is like my journey through health. Is I was very sick child, very sick. I was allergic to everything. I was constantly in the hospital. I was asthmatic. I was allergic to grass. I played football.
I got you. Me too, dude.
And now I can say confidently, I'm not allergic to a damn thing. And and when someone says how, as they're popping their Allegra, like how, or their Claritin,
Right,
and I'm like, I
right.
stopped taking my medication, and it hurt. I had to. I'd be petting cats, and I'd be crying, and my eyes would be all puffy and red, and I went through that, and my body is so strong now because I built my tolerance to all these things the way we're supposed to.
Right, because when I was younger, they did the antigen shots, which is like part of the thing.
Yep.
They just give it to you
Yep,
over time.
I used to get the shots every.
Isn't that
every 2
fascinating?
weeks.
So you just
And
blew through it.
And yeah, like and now, the sun is so nourishing here in Vegas, and that's, I feel like that's another reason why I'm here, or why I was drawn to this place is running in the sun here and absorbing it is just so life giving. It's just life promoting, and I feel like that's why a lot of people on the West Coast are like generally just happier. And like when I messaged you, it's just like these people, like our people, are all seemingly flocking to me and saying like, hey, I just wanted to reach out to you and connect to you further. Like, I don't know what happened when we met. It could have been somebody I met years ago.
No shit.
And they're just like, hey, I hadn't talked to you in a while. I just wanted to see how you were doing. And, I'm like, I'm not ignoring that shit anymore.
Right.
Like, there's a reason why we're all here, why I felt drawn to you, why I feel drawn to certain people.
Yeah.
I've hugged I've touched
Right.
a lot of people, but certain people, when they leave, I can feel their energy afterwards. I can feel their aura. And I'm like, just like what I felt with you.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's different. I should pursue that.
Yeah.
Like, pursue that.
And you
connection.
did, and you text me, and I was like, "What's up, dog?"
Yeah,
And normally I have this fear of commitment lately because I've got so many boxes open that I'm like, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's do this," because
I'm so grateful. I'm so
yeah,
grateful too.
I knew you had shit to say that people needed to hear, and and I keep going back to, like, I know I brought up the trans situation, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I don't know because I'm not in that experience, but I'm like, because you hear so much different rhetoric. I had a psychologist in here who specializes kind of in the area of gender studies and all sorts of shit, but I had earlier that day read that 80% of kids come out of dysphoria after they grow up, and even if it's just slight dysphoria. And I asked her that, and she's like, oh, no, not even close to that high. And then I watched something again today that was saying it was like 70%. So I'm like, who do you listen to? Who do you...
Exactly. And
it's like, what the fuck?
There's so many contradictory stories out there about who and what we are. It's sad, and it's on purpose. It's on purpose, especially now that there's so much information, but it's coming from everywhere, and there's statistics that tell you this and tell you that. One statistic will tell you that, just like you said, that 70% of this, but then something else will say less than 4% of
Right.
that exact same statistic, and
Motherfucker, I didn't go to school for that. Like, I didn't go to school to use the fucking checkout thing at the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go to that training.
You ever see that interview with Bill Gates where there's the
God.
book behind him and it says How to Lie with Statistics.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
But and people, those people like him who are so influential, they use that to make sure that the American public never know the truth. What's that quote from the CIA director from the 70s? We'll know our misinformation campaign was complete when everything the American public believes is false. And I was just telling a friend, I'm like, they didn't say he didn't say everything about the sky or stars or everything about squirrels. He said everything, and I feel like that's like what I learned in school. I mean, there's very few things like math. Math, that's true. But everything else, I feel like it was all a bunch of bullshit. And that was very jarring to someone like me who was very studious. I read the fucking almanac and dictionary for fun. I was such a nerd. and because I thought that was the truth. And I wanted to know all the things. And then I get older and I realized it's all bullshit. And I'm just like it hurt my heart, my soul, that I've been deceived for so long.
Right? What do you mean the Federal Reserve isn't a federal institution? What the fuck? We want answers.
Oh man,
where do you even fucking start?
Well, yes, and like I said, I do hope like you said, I hope that we get to do this again.
Oh no, we absolutely have to, because we're an hour and 8 minutes in, and I feel we're gonna switch gears and go into what we think is coming next. But I would love for you to be able to showcase your next outfit.
Oh yeah,
you know.
I mean, that's I have this shirt in about 15 colors.
Yeah.
You know? And I it sucks that I didn't bring I have like these I have armbands.
You said the armbands,
I have armbands too, and it's all about being as approachable as possible. So usually, the more silly I look, the more hugs I'll get, and that's always my goal: is to hug as many people as possible, to get as many people as I can to step out of their comfort zone and come hug a stranger, you know. And so I've experimented with different looks. You know, I always wear these. I had these in all these different colors.
Right.
But people need to see my eyes. It's the same reason why I'm not wearing them now.
But right, or
it's
the blindfold, or
yeah, you know, it's because I want to connect. I want to be as approachable as possible, so I have all these crazy wigs and whatnot.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just about being human, just being human and being like. With every outfit I have, it's like an aesthetic that is going to make me more alluring to people. And like a lot of people, they come to me thinking that it's gonna be some sexual thing. Some woman just wants to hump my leg, and then
the middle class boy.
yeah, of course, they are
I
down there.
I do. I'll take my top off and be naked when I drink.
They expect that it's a show,
right?
Just like all the other things, and then I hug them, and they're like, oh
shit,
I didn't expect that,
right?
Oh no.
Then, oh no, he said. Oh no,
like, I didn't really want to connect to anybody. I just wanted to get horny. I just wanted to get wet for a minute. and there's times that people have cried.
Right.
Because they weren't expecting that, and then they tell me what's happened to them.
Right.
This woman told me just a couple days ago. She's like, she comes gyrating towards me with her friends, and then I hug her, and she's like, she sinks, her entire posture just sinks down, and she submitted to the experience, and then she's crying, and she comes back about a minute later, and she's like, I had a miscarriage, a couple weeks ago, and I wasn't expecting this. And she goes reaching into her purse, and she just like tries to hand me all this money, and I'm telling her no, that's not what this is about. And her friends are like trying to pull her. She's like, what happened? Or she's like, what happened to you, Michelle? She was opened by the experience, and that's what I want everybody to be. I tell them after they leave me, just go love somebody. Go love somebody else. All I want from you is to go spread love from here. Go hug a stranger. You could do it. You could do it right now. and very few people do, and they say like, all right, yeah. Sometimes people turn around and just like, hey, you want a hug?
Holy shit, dog! We're gonna have to we're gonna have to think this one through. People need to hear this in sound bites, sadly, myself included, which is bullshit because I don't ever listen to podcasts. And because again, I have too many boxes open. I'm analyzing that now, kinda. But yeah, there was so much that you said that was impactful, and we haven't even scratched the surface. So when we come back, I mean, you already answered my last question. Like, you legit just teleported through my brain and was like, all right, I'll go ahead. I got you. I was going to say, what's your closing message? And you're like, to go out there and spread love, like you nailed it. So, because again, everybody out there right now is just in, like you said, ever since they threw us into COVID, I think that's where it started with this masking. Obviously, yes, there's going to be people are going to be triggered just by me saying that, period, without need to say, settle down, my dear, I didn't finish the sentence. Like, masks did prevent people from, like, because, it does stop. I used to wear masks the year before fucking COVID because I have Graves' disease and I was flying a lot. Yeah. And that's probably why I'm sick all the fucking time, as we were talking about earlier, from the radiation. But I was wearing a mask before COVID came out. And now, with this sinus infection that I have, I was going out and I'm like, should I wear a mask? And I was like, I don't want people to judge me. right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, now it's come full circle.
yeah, and it's like, whoa, that's pretty fucking trippy,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
it? Because
yeah.
I've gotten so where I'm like, you're outside, ma'am, on a bike. Nobody's around you. Can you take your mask off, please, and breathe some air?
See, and that's the thing. I don't.
It's again balance.
Yes.
We've left the fucking
Yes.
building. We've gone way fucking here and there.
It's because
what?
It's because everything
Like
is
you
divisive.
said.
Everything has to be a
Yeah.
divisive tactic, including this. And we're all
And the
really just-
confusion,
yes.
right? They've knocked us out of fucking center line. We're confused as fuck. All we need to do is spread love. Again, I'm going to reiterate, Charles and I are not suicidal.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, fuck. So, in saying that, we'll come back and pick up where we left off, where we were talking about what's next and not needing more workers, because I think we're starting to get into some deep shit there, but I do want people to get this very important message straight out the bat. Yeah. So go out and spread love. And finally, I think it's take some mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay, I think we just may have found our 15th business. Like, I've got 15 different business ideas, and some happening and some not. But taking retreats, because, hearing these life-changing experiences, and you are on that exact level as my nephew. Like, there's just the level of intelligence and the way you see the world and the love you want to give and give to other people. It's cosmic. It's what's needed. It's us amassing together and going deeper, but at such a speed where other people can keep up, I suppose.
Exactly. Incrementally showing people
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah.
That's all. Because and part of being an empath in my growth is understanding that not everybody can handle all of it.
Right.
It's like when I'm going through conspiracy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
People's like a little bit at a time, just so that their brain doesn't
Explode. Right. Even then, I mean, my husband and I have been married for 12 years and change, and when we met, I was at the height of my digging career, and I was like, what about 9/11? He's like, terrorists. I'm like, oh my god, sit down now. Because I did this in 2012, right? I went through the whole Mayan fucking, or it's like you think of Y2K, or I'm like, how much of this is me actually getting right? But legit at the end of the day, everything is already, it's like technology where we were 100 years ago on fucking horses and shit, right? Mm-hmm. Fast forward to now, right? So in that brief period of time from when 2012 happened, you said 2000, I was about 2008, we start waking up, and then, that this last 3-year period has become so crystal clear. Yeah. But our rational mind is so sunk in that, what is it? Cognitive, not CBT, but like, you can't disassociate from, oh my god, that's not real.
It's a very real thing that they have the technology for people to live much longer now. Like, they can extend their lives.
I haven't even gotten into this shit. And
so, but that technology isn't going to be for everyone.
Right.
They can't just have everybody living for 300 years or
whatever
this technology is capable of. So that's the other reason why I believe that they have to get rid of the unessentials, the useless eaters, because every job out there that can be done by a robot will be. And what's everyone else going to do? Like, everybody's going to be, ever see that Black Mirror episode where everybody's on the bikes? Like, like that's going to be how they're going to harvest energy from people.
When I talk to people about preemptive programming and shit, I'm like, the Black Mirror, and then that motherfucking robot is like getting deployed by NYPD, or is that not real? You're like, what's news? What's not? What's real?
They already have RoboCops in Dubai and in China and the drones. I know you've probably seen the videos of the drones that flew over in China when people would walk outside their house without a mask on.
Oh,
tell
yes.
them to go back in the house.
Right.
Now imagine if that thing had a weapon on it.
Right. For real, dog. It was like all up in the fucking 33rd floor windows of residents and shit. That's right. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, here we are. They've got us all debating about what bathroom to use, you know? And it's like, listen, folks, we've got so much more happening here that we need to step back and take a look at. Stop pissing in each other's Wheaties and needing to be right and not looking at the greater good and figuring out how we can have a conversation and not a pissing match and fucking canceling each other, because they are all against us. That 1% is doing this by fucking design.
You know, that whole, I call it like Facebook communication now, where you disagree with one thing someone says and you are supposed to fly off the handle. Like, I think that this is purple, you think it's blue, I hate you for the rest of my life.
Right.
That's pretty much how.
And you are not coming to Christmas fucking dinner. I don't care how good and sweet your yams are.
Because you think these are purple.
Right.
And it's
canceled.
Yes, it's counterintuitive to how humans are supposed to interact.
Right.
You're supposed to understand, I don't hate anyone. I understand where someone, even if somebody is wrong, it's okay because they came from a completely different part of the world than me. And they don't know what I know. It's okay to be ignorant about things.
Right.
It's and for me, it's just like, I just smile. It's just like, it's okay. I'm not trying to convert you.
Right.
You know?
Right. Shit.
But yeah. We could talk forever.
Oh, we got a long way to go. So I'm like, well, I guess at least I have to pee. So there's that. That'll be on my tombstone. She was a great girl, but had to pee all the time. We will do another episode easily, incredibly soon. So thank you so much for coming in and sharing your truth. And we're literally, this is 1% in, folks. So again, Charles's handle will be in the show notes. Go follow him. Ponder in the meantime of what this army could look like of us Care Bears out there. You know, just putting down all of our weapons, shooting motherfucking rainbows out of our nipples. You know, doesn't matter how you identify or what you thinking. Like, we can all pause for a minute. You know, and
I love all of you.
You know, yeah, love up on all of us, and be like, we're souls having a human experience, and we need to figure this shit out together and stop getting distracted and like get down to the root of who we are on a spiritual fucking level.
Word.
Oof.